Welcome into the WCS Sports Connection. I'm your host, District Athletic Director Patrick Whitlock, and with me always is Tate Mathews. After a 1-week hiatus, we had some fun last week, but we're glad you're back.
Went down memory lane. The doctor, I always kind of forget because it did change, but he was not the original host and executive producer of the show because Coach Daniels did it first, and then, Coach Ringstaff did it first.
Correct.
Right, and then Coach Daniels did it. So, but always cool to have Coach Dr. Qualls back, and I saw he busted out the RIP tombstone, and
He did.
there was some memory lane, clips and everything, and just to show the more things change, the more they stay the same. He did my picking, and he stinks at picking like he always did back then. I never lost the pick'ems until Coach Joins became the producer, if that tells you anything.
That tells you a lot right there. But he was happy to be here. I called him the godfather of this job, and he blushed a little bit, but it's all good. So I don't know if he got any complaints, but we'll see. We made sure to steer him back in that direction. Complaint department, for sure. So back to sports. Rough week for Wilco football. Hard to believe that we're about 5 days out from Thanksgiving break. It's gone by pretty quick, but not a great week for Wilco football teams.
Well, it was good for three of them.
Right. 3 and 4. We're spoiled.
That's right. You know. No crying on the yacht. But yeah, and there was a couple of them that were bad matchups, but a couple, I do think going in, everybody thought we'd win more than 3, but we've still got 3 in it. And the neat thing is, I don't think one of them would have been the 3 that a lot of people picked.
No,
that are still in it.
Definitely not. Can't wait to get to all that. But with it being mid-November, we're starting to get into winter sports, and this week marks the official beginning of wrestling season, actual matches, also basketball Hall of Fame matchups starting as early as tonight, being Monday. So a lot to look forward to, but we're gonna start with some wrestling and then get into some football.
Can I ask one Hall of Fame question? We'll make it quick, but
Yes.
I want you to go back to your coach's hat.
Yes.
But I want you to answer this as a coach, but now also as the district athletic director. You were an athletic director way back at Ravenwood, but is it the Hall of Fame game still, if you want to count it on your win-loss record, you can, but if you don't, you don't have to. In other words, if you lose, you don't have to count it. If you win, you can count it.
Yeah, no, everybody counts it now. It just
even
counts.
the L.
Yeah, even the L. So,
because it's just the right thing to do, or because it's a rule?
it's just the right thing to do. I don't think it's spelled out anywhere. I could probably delete about 10 losses from my record.
I'm willing to bet I can find a
delete
clown
about
or two
10
that-
wins. Yeah, there's somebody that does it. Like somebody
doesn't count it.
Like somebody from Coffee County probably does that, on a regular basis. Maybe the girls coach. I don't know. He owns a little restaurant down there. Did you know that?
The Jiffy Burger?
No, he doesn't own that one. But 2 years ago, they had the region meeting there. And they're like, how'd you hook this place up? He goes, well, I own it. I was like, that's weird. So anyway, can't make this stuff up. On to wrestling. All right, we're going to go through a few teams here. We appreciate the coaches getting back to us. We're going to start with the Ravenwood Raptors, who are returning five wrestlers on the male side that placed in the state last year. Thomas Lobliner, Ryan Dietrich, Maddox Eskew, J.D. Longley, and my guy, Matthew Anderson. He won't be back for a little while, still making plays on the football field.
It's going to be at least 3 more weeks before Mathews back.
Yeah, that's the plan. But you know what? He'll be at that first match right after football season's over.
He'll be out of shape, sucking wind, and he'll probably win.
Absolutely. A deep lineup for Coach Peck's Raptors. His son, Brody Peck, was a region champion last year. Did not get to participate in the sectional because he had a concussion. Luca Kang, who I coached, or didn't coach, but taught his older brother, struggling, 6th place in the region last year. And then Jackson Wilson, 5th place at the regionals. Coach Peck kind of bringing back the Raptors to respectability. He stepped away for a few years, went to Nolensville, and the program dipped a little bit, but now he's getting it back to where it needs to be.
Yeah, and the other thing that it goes hand in hand with them coming back so quickly, not only did the program dip, the numbers dipped, and he's got the numbers way back up.
Yeah.
Doubled, maybe even tripled.
Yeah, he's got it.
It's kind of what he does, right?
That's his thing.
Yeah.
He does a great job. All right, Indy returns 2 state qualifiers on the boys and girls side. Leo Roberts was 5th at state last year, and Mark Romano, a junior, was also in the state tournament, 2-time qualifier. On the girls' side, Laura Gupton placed 3rd at state last year, and Juliana King, who was only a sophomore, qualified as a freshman. nice little returning nucleus for the Eagles there.
Yeah, they do. They've got that thing rolling nicely. And Romano, that name ought to stick out to you. Been a good family for them. I love girls wrestling for a lot of different reasons, but there's certain things that's tough to take in sports, right? It's got to be rough when a lovely young lady named Juliana comes out and then proceeds to pin you on your back.
Yeah, no doubt. Girls wrestling growing in popularity. It's grown pretty quick.
Well, Coach Jones and I used to talk about it all the time. I think you were basketballing it up then, so I don't know if you – but Jared Grindstaff, who is at
principal now at Mill Creek, yeah.
Right. He really, I feel like, went all in. He has daughters. He's a wrestling coach with daughters, and they were younger at the time. But I feel like Independence, because of Coach Grindstaff, were the first ones to really jump all in on the ladies wrestling, and therefore they've been ahead of the game a lot. Now Summit's up there now too because of the club and all that. But yeah, it's a sport that will do nothing but continue to grow.
No doubt. So. Moving on to the Page Patriots, returning 6 seniors in their starting lineup, including some region qualifiers. Zeke Burgess, I hope I didn't mess his name up, only a sophomore, Region 6 qualifier. Maddox McCullough, also just a sophomore, Region 6 qualifier. Wyatt Elder, senior, Region 6 qualifier. And then on the girls' side, Katie Mason, who's a senior, region finalist, and a state qualifier. So nice little nucleus for Coach Gray and the Patriots coming back.
Yeah, they do. They kind of went back a little bit, but now they're coming back up. Had their best year a few years ago probably ever since Coach Gray's been the head coach there. But yeah, they were a little young last year, but they've got some guys. That many qualifiers. They just need them to repeat, and now this time maybe let's podium. And
take it up one notch.
That's right.
Yeah, no doubt. So in Single A, Fairview looking for their 9th consecutive Class A Region 7 dual championship. That's amazing. I mean, that's a heck of a stat right there.
Yeah, considering they didn't even have a wrestling program until about 15, 18 years ago. No, it's a great stat. I love it. They get after it. Have you – again, you probably haven't had time.
I have not yet. Unfortunately, my wrestling knowledge is pretty just conducive to Ravenwood High School because I've been pretty busy.
Right.
Haven't been able to make a lot of matches outside of the ones that were in my building for 19 years.
Right.
So.
Yeah. Especially that time of year.
Yeah, a little busy from time to time, but
I'm
looking forward to getting out to some more this year.
Fairview's fun to watch wrestle.
No doubt. So they've got 9 seniors coming back, all right, including 2 state placers, Nate Cavillo and junior Skylar Hedges, who finished 6th at the 132 class. So, again, great things probably in store for this Fairview wrestling program. And then Franklin, the Admirals, returning starters Grayson Morgan, Campbell Crowell, Luke Childs, and Simon Sessions. Again, Roman Starchewski, that's a tough one to say. Jackson Crenshaw and Bennett Joyce are also going to provide some depth for Coach Cathy's Admirals this year.
That's right. And that's something kind of like with Coach Peck. That's something Coach Cathy's done a really good job of gotten the numbers back up. So you got to have them.
No doubt. I mean, it's a numbers game with wrestling.
Game.
If you only got a handful, you're in a world of trouble.
Yeah.
So, and then we can't talk about wrestling without talking about Summit. Runner-up last year in the duels, Pete Miller, TSSAA Coach of the Year. So he's doing a heck of a job down there. Summit also hosting the middle school championships mid-December, I believe December 19th.
Got the spotlight. It's cool.
Yeah, they do a great job. He is a heck of a coach.
He is. That one hurdle they haven't been able to get over, Cleveland, which the head coach there is Al Miller, his father. Man, they've got this thing now where they just reload. But 3 state champions you're replacing.
That's tough.
That's tough, man. They're going to be good, but golly, I mean, some of the best to ever come through this county. So it's going to be fun to see who next man up is with the Spartans.
Yeah, Nolansville also got a great program. Made some inroads last year, doing pretty well.
Yeah, well, Coach Mel's on it. Same thing. I think between the two of them, between the two programs, I think they graduated 6 state champions.
Oh, that's pretty impressive.
Pretty impressive.
No doubt. So, should be a very fun wrestling season. We'll get to basketball. We're going to wait and table that till after Thanksgiving, after we've got some Hall of Fame games and some tournaments. A lot of basketball action going on over the next 2 weeks. Exciting time of year. A little bit weird for me right now, but it is what it is. So we're going to move on to football. We're going to start with the score. It's not one that I really want to report on. Whitehaven 47, Indy 0. This one surprised me a little bit. Got any intel on what happened here?
I do. That's why I had to look down for a second. I was not trying to be rude, but I wanted to make sure I gave I wanted to make sure I gave Ravenwood the scouting report, not that Coach Collier, the defense coordinator, and Coach Rodriguez, the head coach, need it. Quentin Cottrell for Whitehaven. I don't know what number he was. Find out where he is and stay away from him. The first 2 possessions, Independence throws an interception to him. He pick sixes them. He was 14-0 like that.
Well,
don't throw at Quentin Cottrell.
The interception bug biting Indy in the postseason pretty significantly.
Yeah, it did. Sure did. And it was both quarterbacks too. So it wasn't one.
It wasn't just Horner.
Horner threw the
Horner
first
really
one,
struggled
and then
against Clarksville.
Through the second one. But I'd find out who he is. I'd stay away from him. But yeah, I mean, it was just, I think as we knew going in, Whitehaven outmanned Independence physically and athletically anyways. And then when it starts off like that, that's just hard to recover from. But they knew it. Coach Blade knew that. They had to be aggressive, but not only those 2. I think they ended up with 4 turnovers. And
it's hard to win in the postseason when you're
6A?
Yeah, when you're -4 in the turnover category.
That's right.
You're going to be in a world of hurt. So, good season for Indy. I know Coach Blade will take this experience and continue to build on it. They got some good talent coming back.
You can bank on it.
Including a pretty good quarterback that, despite the last 2 weeks being a little rough, he had a really good season.
That's exactly right.
So, another one that I hate to report on because, I enjoy watching Coach Hughes' team play. Dyersburg 52, Fairview 35. I'll give Dr. Qualls some credit here. He kind of called this a little.
He did?
He did. He said Dyersburg was going to be tough. He threw out Dyersburg's coach's name.
Oh, gosh.
I don't know much about Dyersburg. I kind of pass through there when I go see my grandmother in Missouri. That's about it.
What is Bubba's last name?
I don't know. I would have to, that's how much I cared. I'm a Fairview guy. Anyway, Fairview trailed 30-7. Our guy, Julius Carter, had 2 touchdowns. Fairview cuts this thing 37-27, either late third, early fourth. And then I was glued to my phone the rest of the night to see, but they could not get any closer than that 10-point gap.
Kind of the same thing as Whitehaven. They play Ravenwood. I'm sorry, I keep messing up. Kind of the same thing as Independence. They just gave up too much and too hard to come back from. And both big SEC football fans here on this show. So what I want to say is 30-7. I don't care how well you play. That's just too hard to come back from. But thanks to our old boy, Shane Beamer, that's not exactly true because the South Carolina Gamecocks found a way to do it. So I guess technically Fairview could have too.
Yeah, that was brutal.
Brutal.
Tough way to go out. But Coach Hughes and the Yellow Jackets, heck of a season, a bounce-back season, 4-7 a year ago. They talked about the changes they made. Just a tough second-round matchup, but I think they got a lot to be proud of this year.
Without a doubt. And they got back to they'd won the region again this year, which was something that was a goal that was very important to them because for several years there, that was kind of a given. They were going to do it. They haven't done it in a few years. They did it, and also the way they did it and winning in Week 11 against an undefeated Waverly team for the region championship is big. But Jax McCoy moving on, man, I feel like I'm sure part of it is because of his older brother, but I feel like Jax has been there forever. But they're losing some good players and some guys that will be remembered, but also the cupboard is not bare, especially at running back.
Julius Carter. Going to be saying his name a lot over the next 3 years. I think he had a heck of a freshman season. That is, I don't care if you're playing single A, double A, triple A, that is a heck of a year.
Big time.
Yeah, no doubt. So, on a more positive note, the Page Patriots beat Kirkwood 24-7. Isaac Odie and James Pierre rushed for 2 touchdowns. Page racks up over 250 yards on the ground. Odie led them with 142 yards on 16 carries. Pierre had 84 yards on 13 carries. And then, again, Cameron Cruz connects with none other than Caden Ackerman for a touchdown. I'll give myself some props here. The spread on this was 21.5. I said Kirkwood would cover. I had some good intel on that. Kirkwood a little bit better than people thought, I guess. But, 24-7, good win for the Patriots, and now they move on.
What did the guy who did the picking for me go with? Do you know?
He said he took Page. That's where
he probably called Popcorn City, Boat Race City.
He did. He's like, does Kirkwood even play football? That's what he said. And I was like, I think you're mistaken. I didn't want to embarrass him on the show.
Well, what's funny is the guy that's the head coach is an Austin P. Governor. I mean, he usually
they should probably hang out.
That's right.
Yeah.
He's older, but Qualls is older. But no, man, I think this is a couple things. Let's start off on offense. If they weren't so good and so deep and so many different weapons, Cameron and Caden Ackerman could have 15 touchdown passes easy this year, maybe more, 20. You know what I'm saying? I mean, This connection is really hard. But there's just so many of them, weapons, and so. But it seems like it was. I think part of what kept that score down is Page. I don't know what point was trying to be proved, but I think Page wanted to make sure everybody knew we can line up against Kirkwood and just run the football.
Just run them off the ball, beat them in the trenches.
Yep.
Yeah, and that's exactly.
That's what I took from it.
Yeah, I mean, 250 yards on the ground.
And Kirkwood has a very explosive offense, and to only give up 7 points, defense played really well.
Hey, we'll get to it here in a second. Page definitely trending towards another state appearance here, but big game this week. Now, let's get to the game. I was super excited for this. This is the feel-good game of the week, Wilco-wise. Centennial 38, Memphis Central 19. Xavier Tefteller scored 3 touchdowns, lead Centennial. Scored the first touchdown, a 2-yard plunge midway through the first quarter, and then ended the scoring with back-to-back touchdowns at the end of the third and fourth. Mitchell Grandjean, another good game, added a pair of touchdown passes to Malachi Steele, and Will Stanley had a 30-yard field goal. There's some things we don't talk about on the show. This is a great story.
Yes.
Centennial, this team has been through some adversity this year. The fact that they are back in the quarterfinals, maybe have a chance to win this week. I mean, look, you would have told us that 5 weeks ago. We would have been like, no, they can't stop anybody. They had some issues. Unbelievable job.
Oh, my gosh. It's a great story.
Coach Rector was fired up.
I bet he was.
On Saturday.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and it's just a great –
the athletic director, not the head coach.
Right. That's it's a great story of the young men staying together and not quitting on each other and not quitting on our coaches, and the coaching staff has done a great job keeping them together, and you can tell they're getting better at some things, but it would have been easy to quit and say,
yeah, just move on,
but they didn't do that. And they, and now you're starting to see some things, the glimmer of hope they had when, Antioch, who got beat this week too, but Stewart's Creek could have won that. Antioch, they could have won that.
Right.
Green Hill, I don't know about that, but there were just some games they could have won, and I think Coach Burt is doing a great job leading the staff, and I think they're a scary team. And here's the cool thing: of the two, I think Page got the harder draw.
Oh, 100%.
Now Page is the better football team, but I think Page got the hard. Centennial got the best draw they could get. So I think it's very cool. And Tefteller, what I love about that is there's so many different ways they're doing it. His back-to-back touchdowns in the third and fourth, one of them was a pick six.
Right.
So
kind of iced the game there.
Yeah, 2 rushing touchdowns, and then he has a pick six, and Malachi Steele took a couple back. Grandjean played well at quarterback again. I hate going to Henry County in any sport. But, man, I think Centennial's got to – think about this. They entered the playoffs 4-5. And now here they are. They're 6-5, and they got a chance to be practicing on Thanksgiving.
Yeah, it's going to be a heck of a story.
Really cool.
I'm totally engaged in the story. I think the biggest transformation to me is their defensive transformation.
No doubt about it.
They have turned that completely around in the past 3 or 4 weeks. Memphis Central goes in that game 9-2. Finishes 9-3. Had beat Mumford earlier this year. I mean, big win for the Cougs.
Big win.
Gotta love
it.
Hey,
by the way, since you're the Memphis historian, I keep doing this to you. Memphis Central, what's their mascot? Do we know?
A Warrior. That's actually where I was zoned to go to high school. We talked about this. They play in E.H. Crump Stadium, which actually hosted bowl games, college bowl games back in the day. It was a huge stadium right there in Midtown. Me and my friends used to sneak in the stadium and play pickup football. It was like 6 blocks from my house. We'd lock our bikes up on the outside gate, we'd slip through it, and we'd be out there, and then the maintenance guy would come yell at us, and we'd run off. It was great. Great childhood.
Grew up rough, man.
I know, it's tough. Well, we didn't have all the stuff they have today. Anyway. So speaking of Henry County beats Nolensville 31-24. Nolensville led 10-7 at the half. And then this game just became a shootout in the second half. Ryan Newell just 7 of 14, 151 yards, 2 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. Oliver Bender, 5 catches, 116 yards, and a score. Tough way for the Knights to go out. I think it's understated the job that Coach Stidham did down the stretch here. They'd won 5 in a row at one point, lose to Page, go in the playoffs, win a game, and then tough loss to Henry County.
I think he'd be okay with it, but I hope Coach Stidham wins Region Coach of the Year.
Well, he should be in the mix for it for sure.
You know, if Rathbone gets it, okay, how do you argue with that?
Right.
But I really hope Coach Stidham gets Coach of the Year.
Yeah.
And I think Rathbone would be good with it.
Yeah, I think he would too.
He did an unbelievable job. And
he's definitely getting Rathbone's vote, I would think.
I would think 100%, yep.
But, you know, you never know what the metro schools are going to do.
That's right.
They could jack it up for everybody.
They could, but we've got the good ones.
Yeah.
We've got some good ones, yeah. So Henry County's big. They're physical. Tell me if you've heard this record before. Henry County, they're big, they're fast, they're physical, they're athletic. And, man, I thought they had them, but it was, I think, you know, I don't think it was really so much what I don't think Nolensville lost this football. I know this sounds corny, but Nolensville didn't lose this football game. Henry County just won the football game.
Yeah, no doubt. Proud program.
Another big night by Oliver Bender.
Yeah,
that Newell Bender. You know, we got a lot of really good combinations in the county, but that one's up there, man.
That one sticks out.
Yeah,
said that a lot this year on this show. All right, Southwind 48, Brentwood 14. The Jaguars just too much for the Bruins here. Two cats.
Two cats.
No,
they're scary.
One's a bear. It's all good. But
what?
Well, you know, Jaguar and a bear. It's all good.
Who's the bear? Oh, the
Bruins. Yeah. I messed that up. But Gavin Strang hits Parker Emerson for an 11-yard touchdown strike to bring to 14-7. And then after that, it was all Southwind. The Perkins kid, who's the quarterback at Southwind, I was mistaken last week. I was told he was a sophomore. He's a senior. Yes. 2023 Mr. Football winner. Semifinalist last year, semifinalist again this year. A Wilco team could see him again here in a week, hopefully. But
he's
pretty good player.
Well, yeah, and he's got guys to get it to. This came down to, you know, they just can run.
The Jimmies and the Joes here.
It was Jimmies and Joes.
Yeah. Parker Emerson, 2 touchdowns, closes out 57 yards, rushed 6 times for 62 yards. He finishes out a great campaign this year. He'll be back next year. Something for the Bruins to build on. Also, Gavin Strang, good quarterback.
Yep.
Kind of came into his own after a slow start due to being out for most of preseason camp. So I think the Bruins got a lot going for them moving into next year.
Yeah, the Bruins don't ever rebuild, but this was definitely a stepping stone to another. They went down a little bit experience-wise, had some young guys, but they'll be back. And still had a great year.
A different feel than last year. Last year, probably an utter disappointment to get beat in the second round. This year, when it's all said and done, probably where they were at.
They got beat by a better team in the second round.
Yeah.
I don't know. Right? Like, that's tough.
It's the way it goes.
It is the way it is.
Sometimes you got to play your A game and the other team's got to play a C game. It just didn't happen.
Right.
Yeah. All right. And then on to the last one, the Raptors 38, Houston 7. Femi Babalola and Maverick Chance had 3 touchdowns between them, including another one, Babalola to Chance. He just went up over the guy and just took it from him to put him up 14-0 early. Chance had 13 carries for 141 yards. Caden Pace had 7 carries for 65. Davis Dallin, another 45 yards on the ground. James Nelson, one of my former students, swiped 2 Houston passes, 2 picks, and Matthew Anderson and Connor Shavy had another one. That Raptor defense just turned it on, forcing turnovers all over the place. Some interesting side notes in this game. Mm-hmm. Houston did not leave Memphis till about 2:30 to get here.
Is there a reason why?
Allegedly, they had some bus issues. I was over watching their basketball practice. I was just making a day of it. I wanted to go see Coach Hooper and the boys get their last practice in for this week. So I was over there, and I ran into Coach Rod, and he came across a radio interview that was done that morning where the Houston kids said some very negative things about the Raptors. They were
on the radio?
On the radio. I actually went back and listened. They said it wasn't some good words either. It was not good. And then they were John before the game, and then there's a bench clearing kind of issue in the second half. There's a picture in the Tennessean of a total redneck coach from Houston with his sleeves cut off and wearing a hat, kind of John a little bit. I think his name was Billy Bob. I'm not sure, but they got what was coming to them. Raptors had this one circled. They're ready to go.
Speaking of Billy Bob, did you watch Landman?
I forgot to watch it last night, but yeah, I'm going to watch it soon. I love that show.
Yeah, man, that's no good. I don't understand whatever. It doesn't matter. Hey, unfinished business. I don't like that sometimes because that was last year's team, but don't think there wasn't some added motivation. The Raps feel like they left one on the board last year with Houston knocking them off in the semis, and so I don't think that was ever going to be an issue, anyways. But thanks for the added motivation by coming up and jawing and messing. Well, it's just
when you're 3-7, shut your mouth.
That's
you're
right.
Playing a team
well,
that's 11.
And here's what's great about that, because this is Ravenwood and one of our all-time favorites, and a very good friend of yours, and one of the best coaches we've had in this district, Coach Teddy Craig. And I think Teddy's kind of like, we're more common sense, And what's his favorite word?
Bush League.
That right there is Bush League, man.
Right.
There's no place in it. We're in the business of mentoring and helping raise and young men who are going to be fathers and husbands and employees and employers and members of the church.
Yeah.
And their leaders out there with this. Are we telling our kids when you go in for a job interview to wear a shirt with the sleeves cut off and
I would hope not.
It's Bush League.
It is.
And
Houston is like a reputable neighborhood. It's in Germantown.
No.
I mean, it's like a Williamson County school in terms of clientele.
Correct.
But it's the way it goes. I was happy for the Raptors. I know they were excited.
Bush League.
So yeah. So Qualls picks for you last week goes 4-3.
Thanks.
I went 4. Yeah, thanks, man. And I go 4-3. So we just kind of scratched that from the record. We're still dead even, 53-23. Yeah.
I'm good with that.
As we go here, we got 3 games this week, no spreads. The pundits have taken the week off. I guess they're ready for Thanksgiving break. It is what it is. We're going to start with the what is going to be the MyTV 30 game of the week, Page versus Beach.
Nice.
Big matchup, 2 big-time programs.
Is it at Beach? No, it's
at Page.
Yeah.
We might be having game day. We're still waiting on the weather because it's not going to be great weather on Friday, evidently. But we'll see. We want to be there, but we can't help it. We can't.
Falcon?
No Falconers, no. What's your breakdown on this game? Obviously, 2 coaches you know pretty well.
Yeah, it's a scary game, man. Don't know what happened last year. We thought this was the game we were going to see last year, and Springfield had other plans with Beach, which I still don't. I mean, you know what we think of Springfield and Coach Wilson, but man, they got a quarterback who's about 200. They list him at 240. It's Caden Powell. He's every bit of 263, 265, and they run him like a running back. He's going to come downhill.
Is that going to work against Page though?
I don't know.
Page got some big boys up front.
They do, and they fly around. But I don't care who you are. It's going to be getting them off the field, right?
Yeah.
So I think it's either going to be a really close game or it's going to be a blowout by Page. Because one of 2 things: if they do get them off the field, not give them sustained drives, then that's that many more times that Page gets the ball, and Page is going to score points.
Right.
If not, they can keep Page's offense off the field. But yeah, no, Page has just got too much. 2 of the best coaches in the state. Nope. Page isn't going to outcoach Beach. Beach isn't going to outcoach Page.
They're going to be prepared.
Kind of what you just said. When these 2 get together, I go with who's got the Jimmies and the more Jimmies and Joes, and I think Page has more Jimmies and Joes.
Yeah, I agree. I'm gonna take Page as well. Be interesting to see how play. The one common opponent they have that you could put some stock in is Green Hill. Green Hill beats Beach week 1, and then a few weeks later, Page just unravels Green Hill.
Yeah.
Not that matters. It's postseason. It's a different game.
Well,
here.
and going back to your thing though, I went to that game because it was on Thursday night.
Right.
And part of the reason Page destroyed Green Hill is, even though Green Hill won, they lost like 3 guys that night against Beach. It was a physical game.
Yeah, no doubt.
It's going to be fun.
No doubt. All right, and then the story we're all waiting to see unfold. Centennial has to go back to West Tennessee for the second week in a row, playing at Henry County. I think it's going to be tough, man. I really want the Cougs to pull this out because I just think it's an awesome story. But this is a tall task. Henry County already beat Brentwood this year.
Yes.
Beat Nolensville by 7 last week. But Centennial got a little bit more offensive firepower than those two teams. You got to kind of throw the Centennial-Nolensville game out the window. It's a crazy week.
I agree.
But Centennial is going to be able to score. It's just, man, this is a tough place to play.
I feel like you're asking me a question. It's your pick.
I know. I'm taking Henry County. I thought I led into that. I was trying to like set you up. I'm picking Henry.
Well, no, I wanted you to pick first.
I know.
I'm glad you said all that, man. I think you can. Well, you can take the Centennial Nolensville game and throw it out the window, but because of that. But I'm using that game. The Cougs weren't right. Okay, they're right now, and I think they've got some guys that'll make you pay.
Yeah.
If you give them a break. I think that. And Henry County had to come back to beat Nolensville. I think Centennial goes on the road. I think Coach Burks is going to have a nice defensive game plan to slow Henry County down. And then you got to beat them by double digits because out there, I don't say anything about refs. I usually defend refs. You are going to get no favors in Paris.
But aren't you going to get a set of refs from a different association?
I don't care. I think I don't know. Unless
they get caught up in the hospitality at Henry County?
Yeah, man. You got to win by double digits to win there. Anyways.
So it's like going south in basketball. Like you go down to Columbia, Coffee County, you just know you're not going to get a fair whistle.
Right.
It's happened to me like 4 or 5 times.
But I think Centennial's going to win, man. I do.
I would love it. I'd love to be wrong. I hope I'm wrong. I'll lose the entire pick'em for this to happen.
Perfect.
All right. Then probably the game of the week, at least with the Wilco team. Ravenwood going to Whitehaven. You're up.
This has historically not been you've watched them. This has historically not been a good matchup for Ravenwood.
No.
But I think this Ravenwood team I'm not going to go on a long one. I think this Ravenwood team is tougher than I think some, not necessarily better, but tougher. And you better be tough if you're going to beat Whitehaven. Agreed?
Agreed.
Yeah. So this is a bad matchup, but I like Ravenwood.
Okay. I like Ravenwood too. I think the worst thing that Whitehaven could have done for this matchup today is beat Independence as bad as they did because they've got Ravenwood's attention.
Oh, no question.
You barely beat Indy. Ravenwood might just be like, we just smoked Houston. We're just going to go down there and take care of business. I don't think that's the mentality. Ravenwood has a tough road to get to Chattanooga. They're going to have to beat Whitehaven on the road, and then they're going to have to come back and host Southwind. If they can get this win, most likely host Southwind the day after Thanksgiving to get there. So it's,
they've had the toughest draw.
Yeah.
And Page kind of does too. Hey,
can we talk about how ridiculous it is that they have to go to Whitehaven? Whitehaven is the 3 seed out of the region. Yeah. Ravenwood's 1. The way they've drawn it up, and listen, I respect TSSAA. I'm not trying to badmouth them here. This makes no sense.
Yeah, well, but it's all predetermined, right? So how
it is, but it used to not be predetermined until the semifinals. Now it's predetermined in the quarters and the semifinals because of this new format.
So you would like to see up until the semis go back to once it gets out of whack, higher seed host?
Especially if Whitehaven's a 3.
Yeah.
They weren't even the 2 in their
Yeah, but some people would say,
region.
Good for them, man. They shouldn't have won. They ought to be, I don't know.
Yeah.
I do know this.
It's a bummer when you got a 12-0 team having to travel 3 hours.
It is a bummer. But I do know this. Ravenwood will bring a heck of a lot more people to Whitehaven than DeHaven was going to bring to Ravenwood.
Yes. Houston did not travel well here the other night. And Whitehaven wouldn't bring
they had a hard
anybody.
time getting buses.
And are good, yeah. And
and you being, I'm a Memphis guy. The good thing about Whitehaven is Ravenwood people leave early, and what's on that side of town?
There's barbecue all over the place.
And it's very close to Graceland.
Yes.
So
Interstate barbecue on 3rd Avenue would be my pick.
are we talking hole in the wall, or are we talking?
Yeah, it's a hole in the wall.
Yeah, I know.
One of my dad's former patients.
Well, I know you know this one. Now we're talking, be careful. Keep everybody in a unit, but Tops.
Oh, Tops is a classic. But there's plenty of options with Tops. It's kind of spread out all over the city.
If you want something a little bit more family friendly, there's
you could stop at Germantown Commissary.
There you go. Yep.
Or just hit up a Central Barbecue, even though we got that in Nashville now, so it's not that unique.
And I'm telling you where I love, man, it's not really barbecue, but you can get it. It's really climbing my list. Well, Blue City Cafe at the top of Beale Street's my go-to.
Yeah.
But what do you think about Soulfish?
It's fantastic.
Soulfish is strong.
It's also closing.
What's happening?
Yeah, they're closing it down.
Oh, no.
Yeah, it's a bummer. I'm very upset. I'm going to Memphis in
Is it
mid-December.
because of the government shutdown?
No, I don't think so. Could be. Listen, you get a little bit of everything on this show. That is going to wrap it up for us this week. We are not going to be here next week due to Thanksgiving break, which is just hard to believe. But we hope to be reporting on at least 2 state finalists when we come back. Also, a little basketball action, update you on some wrestling. Tate, I hope you have a great Thanksgiving break. I know you will.
You too, brother.
All right, that's going to wrap it up this week. We will see you again in 2 weeks.